up, what is the best formula to scale any business?
So to scale a business, the biggest danger you could have is to scale a business that you're not in control of, that you have to be so involved in every step. If you have one restaurant or one building and you're managing it and it's taking all your time, how are you going to scale? You can't scale unless before you scale, you automate. What does it mean to automate a business? You have to have a team, you have to have tools, and you have to have tech. When I say team, it's not just the people that I'm hiring. It's just, do they know, are they committed? Do they have the experience to be able to take me to the next level so they can grow with me? Otherwise, I can't do it all. You can't just scale and say, I'm going to get bigger when you got to do everything. There's no way. So are they trained, informed, and updated to be able to get us to where we want to go? Number two, the tools. I don't just mean equipment, but the environment, the work conditions, and the support from me. Am I giving them all the tools to succeed? Am I creating the environment? Like here in Puerto Rico, I have an office. Everybody has their space. They wanted more light. We added lights. By the way, if you remember, this was my old light. Let me show you. This was my old light. See how much darker it is? Then they said, well, it's too dark in here. Well, I thought it was romantic, but not for them. Okay, good. I like to romance my work. So it's a lot brighter. The team, the right people, the right tools, the right tech. And I don't mean tech like gadgets. I mean methods of operating. Do we have the right methods? When a tenant comes, do we have the good process? We check their background, know how many things. I have a template for the lease. I have a template. I don't want to keep recreating the wheel. They have to fit within that template. The template says, we're not going to do more than 5 years, because more than 5 years in this part of the world, they have a right to put a lien on the property. So if I sell it, I have to go and make sure that they're okay with the sale, that the new buyer is going to honor the lease. But if it's less than 5 years, 60 months or less, I can sell, the new owner can kick them out if they want to. So that's just the law, okay? And it says that I need either the corporate guarantee or the personal guarantee. If they give me a company, I need the personal guarantee. If the company, it has to be registered here. If it's not registered here, they need to have a registration here to actually operate clearly. They need to have a permit. They need to have certain things. So you understand? You got to automate with the team, tools, and tech so you can scale. But before you automate, you have to have a system. How are you going to automate something that doesn't have a system? Which is, if you will, it's kind of a routine with predictable, desired outcome. Like a McDonald's, right? McDonald's have what? They have a routine with the predictable, they have a system. Here is the scoop for the French fries. Bring a 16-year-old working in McDonald's, they can perform as well as a 60-year-old that's working there. Why? It's a system. So do you have a system for your apartment building? Do you have a system for your storage facility, etc., that you can now automate by bringing the right people? And when you bring a bunch of people, one supervises the other. It creates some social dynamic there that they work together. All of a sudden, one is staying till 7 p.m., the other one stays a little bit longer to support them. Okay. And then, so before I have a system, I should actually have a structure. What are you going to have in LLC? And then how is it flowing through? Is it flowing through to you? What is the structure that you have? Is it like a structure, not just in terms of the entity, but in terms of how you're going to organize the company? How are you going to organize it? So I have, for example, an attorney, a CPA, an entire team of accountants, because I'm freak about numbers. And the bank is a bigger demander of numbers. We do financial audits, etc. for the bank. It takes forever and it's just crazy. And then who's going to handle maintenance? And is it a good team? Do we have a 3-step to check the bids that we're getting? So the structure has to be there. So you can have a system that you can automate it and scale it. But before I have a structure, the first step is, what is the strategy? Start with the end in mind, like they said. What is my strategy? What is the strategy? What is it? The actual start from a strategy where we are, where you are now. So situation now versus end scene and goal. I was explaining to my son and daughter about the end scene. The end scene. So we were remodeling a building, 2 floors, that's becoming an Argentinian restaurant for the big tenant that's got several restaurants on the island. And I said, the end scene is we walk in and the restaurant is full, people sitting at the bar, the whole thing is happening. They got the seating outside as well, and they're paying the rent on time because they signed for a 10-year with escalation. They're a big company, everybody will be happy. So once you have that end scene, when you show up and it's full, which thank God they have been now for the last 4 months, when I show up, it's happiness. I am happy. We've accomplished that end scene. So we have a strategy. So for the question of how to scale, start with the strategy. What is your strategy that's going to get you to the end scene versus where you are right now? Oh my God, I don't have the money, but I know I can do this. Okay, then maybe do one small deal, set up a syndication. Let's help you set up a syndication or a fund. A fund is like several deals that you can put in one structure. Syndication is one deal you're going to put. Okay, so obviously you want to set up a fund. Just do what I do. I'll show you exactly what I've done. It took me so much to crack these codes. Okay, so I'll give you the shortcut. So understand the strategy that you have. Let's create the right structure. So it's going to be an LLC with a real estate fund. You're going to organize it the right way to raise the capital and deploy it. You're going to have a system so when it's deployed, you have a routine, predictable way to deploy it that gives you the desired outcome you want to pay the investors and sleep at night. Because if I don't sleep at night, I don't need the extra money. I don't need to invest other people's money. I have enough money to invest on my own. It's being invested with me. And you're going to reach that level. It's not so hard. Just baby steps, and then all of a sudden you're making leaps. Then you can automate it. And when you automate it, you scale. You scale to what level? To the critical mass of the market, operation, what I was telling Alex earlier in the call, market, operation, and finance. Right? How much can the market sustain in pricing difference? We sell the burgers. We cannot sell the burgers for $45 unless now you're going to have a big restaurant and it's going to come with a lot of other things and it's going to be, but maybe this is an operation. You can only spend so much, ask so much for the rent in certain markets. Otherwise, you're going to outclass yourself. You're not going to be able to compete. You're either too low and they consider it something not good, or too high and nobody's going to pay that. So what's the market going to actually, what's the critical mass of that market? How much operation can you do? Like, I mean, many times I say, oh, I would love to grow in this area, but I have no staff. You can find staff. I'd like to do a development here. You can find a contractor available. You can find this. And if I pay more and ship people in or do this and that, I'm going to price myself outside the market. So I say, okay, I'm going to bring a partner. Let them with their team come in. It's going to cost less and I'll share some of the profit and a lot less headaches. So I can scale in the right way and finance. How much money do you have? How much money do you want to spend? Finance versus accounting. Finance is, how is the money going to work? Accounting is like this. Revenue minus this expense is what we got. I need financial mind to take the game to the next level. So if you have a strategy, the structure, the system, the automation, and the scale, the final step will be the sustainability. Can you now sustain? Because you can step back here as a scale. You step back, now can it sustain without you? Now pass it on to your loved one. Now pass it on to the world out there and create something for the greater good. To have sustainability, you must have simplicity and stability. And you can do that by reducing your debt or eliminating it completely. Okay, best leverage is zero. You don't want, I mean, you start with the leverage to create a little bit of a momentum for yourself and then reduce the debt. I have less debt. When I refinance and cash out, it's because I'm gonna go get some incredible more cash flow with less headaches and whatever, that's gonna even pay off that debt faster, and I'm gonna have a better, more critical mass in the market to control more and do better. But the end goal is always for me Do I have sustainability? So I choose markets that are sustainable. San Francisco Pacific Heights, Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Old San Juan just rated now one of the best locations in the world for digital nomads, those who want to work in one place. You can look it up, you can Google it, you can put Old San Juan, digital nomads, rated number 19 city in the world. Amazing, among some other places in Europe and whatever, which is surprising to me. I think it's good for business. I don't think it's so good for a lot of other things. But anyway, sustainability, simplicity, and stability to be able to pass it on, and it continues performing. It's like a McDonald's. I mean, they are the masters of systems, right? Hilton Hotels, look at these big franchisors and how they did things. So anyway, hopefully this answers the question. Don't scale before you automate, so you can actually step back and the business is continuing, and then scale to the right market size, operations, and finance. Cool.